So today we're working with Jessica. Jessica's a lovely lady, drove all the way up from Pahoa, pretty far down about an hour down the coast, more or less, out here on the Big Island. She is especially talking about plantar fasciitis as a ongoing concern, and then there's some stuff going on with like knees, hips, torsion that we're expecting to find from an accident that she had about a year ago. So we're going to be watching out, especially for that low body stuff today. And I'm excited to see what we can do, what we can adjust. So I'll be taking a look at her feet, hips, ankles, low body, in addition to kind of tying everything together with our classic full body nervous system approach. Do you notice one foot being worse than the other?
Um, well, the right foot is worse, but the left ankle is worse.
The left ankle, yeah.
But yeah, the right foot is the main injury right now.
That's what I kind of thought when I touched it. And it was the left ankle that you had hurt last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely have a little bit of alignment challenge happening in there. Good mobility, though. The bones of your feet have a lot of space to shuffle around and get where they need to be. So that is positive. It's a good sign.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like, just more work to relax and get it to adapt for people who are like tend to have really tight fascia or just don't have very much space to move inside of their own skin, if that makes sense.
Uh,
Right now, I'm just kind of comparing side to side the way that the muscles are developed, the way that they're lining up with the joints. Doing okay?
huh.
Yeah. So I'm kind of dropping in and just energetically picking up a little bit of the information that's going on with the way that your body's settling into the table. And everybody has some small asymmetry, just depending on how we use our skeletons and muscles through our lives. We're always adapting to the day to day. So I'm just listening in for that kind of echoes of where you've been. You can tell what you're talking about with that sensation that the neck and shoulders are a little bit wanting support. Where were you going walking?
At the Pahoa Community Center.
I'm just doing laps up at the. Is it a track there or more like a
Uh, no, it's
just
more like a
grass
baseball field or
baseball
something.
field? Yeah.
But we made a big loop and we just kept going around.
Yeah. That's such a good way to get in some connection time and be able to visit with somebody that you need to catch up with to be on the move.
Yeah.
And you must have been hitting it pretty hard though if we got that plantar fascia.
Yeah, I was doing 2 to 3 miles a day for about a month.
Wow. Well, that is an impressive amount of activity to add in. Was it kind of sudden? Like you hadn't been walking very much before that?
Yeah, it was like motivating to have someone else who wanted to do it, so I just
Yeah.
went for it.
The ankle injury had you off your feet for kind of a while before that, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. That's easy to do. I see that a lot where when we start feeling better from something that's really had us kind of stuck in a lower movement season. But then it feels so good to get out there and get active again, but it's easy to overdo it.
Yeah.
Right here, let's just feel into the line of connection between these 2 points. And you start by just noticing that lower point and the sensation as that pressure is drawing attention to that area of the body. I'll engage a little more pressure in the upper point. And if you can almost draw with your imagination like a line of connection between these 2 points. I just want to calibrate what's going on with the way the nervous system and the fascia are talking to each other here. You do any meditation stuff, Jessica?
Um, kinda. I mean, I'll put on some like long YouTube meditation tracks.
Yeah, like guided
Uh,
meditation tracks.
yeah, or just like music with like a certain frequency or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, totally. Like some like isochronic or binaural beats kind of stuff.
Something like that.
Yeah. I like that too. I like being able to select. There's so many now too. And I guess some are better than others, but I feel like if your body is responding and it feels calming or matches what you're trying to do, then that's the really important part, right?
Uh-huh.
But that you can kind of pick out now, like what chakra you want to highlight or like an emotional state that you want to address. There's so many options out there.
Yeah.
So we're getting some good movement here with the scapula opened up on this muscle, the levator scapula, that's in charge of elevating and moving the upper corner of the scapula relative to the skull. You can feel that connection there, and I just want to highlight that in your body. Because every time that we're receiving physical touch from another human specifically, we have nerve receptors that are especially sensitized to the temperature of human bodies. And so it's literally the human physical touch allows us to turn on a kind of awareness that otherwise doesn't exist very explicitly in our experience. And it helps us map the way that our body is in space. It helps us become more coordinated and get the pieces of the instructions the nervous system is sending out to the rest of the body to fire in a more coordinated way. And so that by itself accounts for a lot of the benefit of receiving massage. It also has a big impact on the circulatory system just by addressing with tissue. It helps the blood vessels nearby. Every time that I'm touching an area, the blood vessels nearby are responding and adjusting their dilation so that your blood flow is really becoming more available, delivering those nutrients that are loaded into the bloodstream that need to get distributed out into all the cells of the body. So we're talking to the circulatory system there. And really every system in the body responds over the course of massage therapy, depending on what you're addressing. Different systems might respond different intensities. But we get a little positive effect out of every system, which is great. I feel like a lot of us, like maybe have a hard time identifying a single condition or like a main symptom that's a big enough issue to get help from the mainstream medical system. We describe it to the doctor and they're just like, well, we can't really do anything about that. It's not bad enough to need surgery. So So they don't have a specific way that they can help us. But with touch based therapy, we can just talk to the body and get every system a little bit elevated, and especially cumulatively over time, I see some really amazing effects from the way that people's bodies respond as they get used to taking that time to relax, taking that time to amplify the experience of the nervous system and get more aware, more in tune that way. Okay. I'm pretty happy with the tissue change that we're getting in your shoulders and back already.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah. Can you tell a difference even like laying down without moving yet to feel the way that the sensation has already changed?
Yeah.
What's it feel like?
Just like a balancing.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to say that. A lot of times you just automatically get a little bit more symmetrical as the two sides of the body get that information fed in and are able to even out through the central nervous system. And it's kind of lucky that I'm seeing you right now because I have been thinking about plantar fasciitis a lot lately. And I also have struggled with plantar fasciitis over the course of my life and had a lot of recovery, but it can be a place where if my well-being is dropping down a little lower, then I can be sensitive there and just running myself down. I will eventually have to slow down and take some time to reset my feet
Yeah,
as well.
it's a long healing process.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a long healing process. And it can be a situation that is like really difficult to resolve completely, even if we get long windows of relief where it's not really bothering us, then it can still flare up in the future if we're needing to adjust how we take care of ourselves. Is it feeling sensitive in the calf here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feeling a little bit of kind of automatic protection kicking on. That tends to be a subconscious response when the body has learned to anticipate something might be about to get uncomfortable. So I'm going to slow down and still make an impact on what's happening with the tissue, but while also teaching your body to trust this experience a little more and move out of the feeling of protectiveness or danger. So we're going to go slow and steady to work into that plantar fasciitis. Before you got on the table, Jessica, what would you say was the pain level for I know it was the right foot that you said was worse. I'm on the left leg right now. But
Um, Probably kind of low because it's more when I first wake up and I'm walking. If I have to walk to the
yes,
bathroom, that's kind of when it's the worst.
classic. Yeah, that sensation of the very first thing in the morning is what we think of as a diagnostic criteria for plantar fasciitis. The other kinds of foot pain don't have that like distinctive signature of the way that the foot just like almost feels like it's cracking or just such an intense sensation on that first step when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that pressure okay?
Yeah.
I'm going a little deep here, wanting to just straighten out some of this. Got a few muscle fibers fired off in the thigh that I'm going to buy a little space further down the leg. So I do want to kind of help desensitize the muscles of the calf because these muscles are actually narrowing into connective tissue that's wrapping around the ankle in a few different places and essentially producing the tension in the bottom of the foot that really doing your self massage at home, if you're able to work into the calf as well and really kind of build up some familiarity and kindness for these calf muscles.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I would expect that to help a lot. And for the way that yours is presenting, I would kind of expect this internal edge to be especially helpful. And I bet that as you start diving into it, it may feel really sensitive initially. And so part of your goal there is to just desensitize that set of muscles and nerves that are talking to you from the inner edge or the medial edge of the calf here. Is that feeling pretty sensitive as I'm getting into that? Yeah, compared to the outside, you feel like the inside edge is more sensitive. Yeah. That's what it feels like. There are two pretty substantial muscles running up the back of the calf that are both connecting into the Achilles tendon there, or the calcaneal tendon, we'll also call it sometimes. And so it's a lot of power. It's a lot of force available from those two muscles. So when they are not acting in coordination, and especially when we have that kind of inner edge, it's reducing a lot of tension into the foot as it goes across the heel, then it's a lot of capacity that muscle has to just yank on the sole of your foot. And then when we're sleeping, all that tension is part of what the body is trying to do, all of that growing and healing that we do while we're asleep, right? And so it's getting really built up so that that connective tissue can resist the force coming from the muscles in the calf. That tension okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure you can kind of feel how it's actually tight, like all the way up your leg and into your thigh. And that's a part of this whole system. Now that we've got the tissue opened up a little bit, some of the deeper distortions in the structure are getting a little easier to feel. And with that, I can feel your breath automatically adjusting and lengthening out as your nervous system and your breath are interfacing in a little bit lower frequency, calmer, smoother way. All right. So comparing the right foot to the left, is it feeling, what change are you picking up there?
Yeah, it just feels more like I feel more of the pressure points like hitting the ground. Like it's kind of like I'm the pressure. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like the points at the bottom of my feet are like coming down to the ground to give me support. I feel
like the stability is kind of adjusted there. Good. Yeah. Good. Glad to hear. I'm so glad you came out today, and I'll be interested to hear how your plantar fasciitis feels over the next couple of days now that we've worked on it. So definitely text me if you have any change that you notice. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Good to see you, Jessica.
You too.